Then we had number 3 Indiana going on the road at number 8 Oregon, and this one was the big one. Indiana has been doubted all year. They were all the way down at 22, then 25. Like they were really low in the rankings, and they slowly kind of went up. And then they beat Illinois, and they went way up. And Indiana's really good. And now they go on the road at Oregon and somehow win, Jack. Something a team hasn't done. They had an 18-game winning streak at home. Oregon's really good. Oregon beat Ohio State at home. Like Indiana is really good, and no 5 stars. Really insane. And Kurt Cignetti has really built a national championship contender in Bloomington, Jack.
This is one of the most shocking outcomes, I think, of the week. I think no one expected them to go into Oregon and beat them like this. And it was really like handily they beat them because,
Right.
I mean, to like that pick six in the second half and like still win by double digits is really impressive. And to pick Dante Moore in the second half 2 times, that really was the turning point in this game. Like Saggetti really
Right.
has a squad moving. I mean, 17-2 record under them. And then
Ridiculous.
and they look
Mm-hmm.
like way better than they did last year, and they're actually winning these big games. They're definitely like a scary team and one of the best teams in the country right now. And I think
Right.
this their highest they've ever been in the AP poll, number 3. Just so impressive this
Right.
year already has been. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if they go undefeated, I mean, like their one loss might be Ohio State in that Big Ten championship.
Right. And if you look back, they've only won the Big Ten twice in their history, 1945 and 1967. And even if you look back at those seasons, like in 1967, they got blown up by Minnesota and then went to the Rose Bowl and got blown out against USC. It's like, that's their best year ever. Where it's like, that's crazy. Where it's like really impressive with what Indiana has been able to do. And they're one of the better teams in the Big Ten, no doubt. And Indiana is just so impressive. I mean, it's really embarrassing when you're in the conference 125 years and you only have 2 conference championships to show for it that are covered in dust. So Indiana has a really great chance this year. And I'm really happy for Indiana and all of Bloomington and just the whole area because you can really tell when you're down there really how it's really affected the community and also with the Colts doing great and the Pacers were just in the championship. It's been a great year for Indiana sports, no doubt. And it feels like it just keeps getting better and better. It's like Indiana went on the road at Oregon and won and also so handedly, like you said with the pick six. Like this score 30-20, it felt like Indiana won by more. I think that's the biggest thing here where it's like, I picked Oregon. Oregon was favored. Oregon was supposed to win this. They're at home against a team that's not supposed to be better than them. Like Indiana was built like a lot cheaper. Like Oregon, all the money that was poured into it, like all like the 5 stars, everything about that. And then Indiana, it didn't matter. And they really was just a coaching mismatch, which doesn't happen too often when you have a guy like Dan Lanning. Like Kurt Cignetti's just really great, and it's really showing that he did coach under Nick Saban. That's very telling when you watch games of his, where it's like, man, like he's really a mastermind. Honestly, Kurt Cignetti's incredible, and I'm sick of people trying to bring up his name in Penn State. Why would he want to go to Penn State? They're just going to hate on him, and he's always going to be in Petula's shadow. At Indiana, he's going to get a statue, and they're going to remember him forever. They're going to name the stadium after him. So there's really no reason for him to leave. And also, he's getting Planet Resources. Can we stop doing that? He's not leaving Indiana. It would be really foolish to do so. And Cignetti, what he's built at Indiana is really fantastic. And like he's 64 now, so we'll see how long he's able to coach the Hoosiers. Hopefully he doesn't leave. I would be really shocked if he left, but we'll see how long they can keep this up because Indiana is really spectacular, Jack, and it's really great to see from a team that hasn't had success in their history. I mean, they've lost the most games of any D1 school. So Indiana, Jack, insanity.
Very insane and it's just so impressive to really turn this program around. And yeah, I don't see him leaving at all for that Penn State job. Just what he's built here so
Right,
far, only being here for like a year and a half. Reason
right.
I don't see it. I think he really builds a culture here, and I really hope he does because this is the
Mm-hmm.
best Indiana has ever looked and probably will ever look
Mm,
under him.
right,
I definitely think they're in the mix
no doubt.
for that college football playoff, and I think he can definitely take them there. So I mean, they just look
Right,
so good, and their offense can just immediately answer against Oregon's tough defense. And I think if this
Right.
was, I know Indiana plays great at home, but I think if this was switched and Indiana was home, I think Dan Lanning really takes that adversity going into Indiana as a top 10 team and really, I think this is a tough one. I just think
Hmm.
in this game, Indiana just looked like the better team, which is just so surprising because going into this, I mean, no
Right.
one had them over Oregon. And Oregon's just, I mean, they've just looked impressive every single year. So this was just one of the most shocking outcomes, I think, of the season so far.
Right. And obviously, I missed the Pac-12 and everything that went about with that, and everything that happened, and how it really collapsed, and we lost a lot of those rivalries. Obviously, that really sucks with the Pac-12, but like then we get games like this, like Indiana on the road at Oregon, top 10 matchup, like awesome. Last year we had Ohio State, Oregon. We just had Michigan, USC, like Washington, Michigan, like all these like games that are now conference games. Like it really sucks with the Pac-12 being gone, but then you look at like these matchups and you're like, is it kind of worth it? Where it's like Oregon, Penn State in the whiteout in a conference game. Like it's really great atmospheres. It just kind of sucks what happened to the Pac-12, but I think we're kind of seeing the benefits of it. But do miss the Pac-12 for sure, Jack.
Yeah, I do too. I wish they wouldn't have blown that up. And hopefully,
Right,
as the years go by, they can really add to that conference. You know, there's a bunch of teams going
right,
there to really add to Oregon State and Washington State. It just really is a shame
right,
because it's so weird now with all the conferences. And now there's only really two big super conferences in the Big Ten and the SEC. I wish you had more parity in the conferences, and it's not just Big Ten versus SEC. Like I wish the ACC would have more play in that, and the Big 12 maybe. It's just
right.
I wish it wouldn't have happened, but I really hope they could build that conference back up.
Right, definitely. And I mean, Fernando Mendoza, the transfer quarterback, he was just in the Pac-12. He transferred over from Cal, and he's been fantastic. 215 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The pick six obviously was bad, but he played pretty good throughout the game. And Roman Hemby was very solid on the ground. I mean, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I think he'd be very solid in this game. Honestly, Indiana's really good, and I think a big problem and a big criticism of them last year was how O'Rourke played in the games against Ohio State and Notre Dame, where he didn't really show up until it was kind of too late. Where I feel like they really have their guy, and it sucks that he's probably going to go to the draft. I mean, he's got to be one of the most highly touted guys now. Him and Dante Moore included, if Dante Moore goes. But Fernando Mendoza has been spectacular for them, Jack. And he did have that pick six, but like outside of that, he's been incredible. Just about every game he's played, he's made clutch plays in the fourth. He had a dang near perfect game against Illinois. He's been spectacular all year, Jack.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been just electric. And that his first pick, I think, of the season was against Iowa, and this is like his second pick of the season. So he has not given the ball away at all this season. Really, he's been just
Right,
very impressive. Back to back
right.
weeks,
And those
just
are two incredible defenses.
exactly very impressive wins back to
You
back.
can't even, right.
Yeah, he's definitely like
You'd expect those defenses, yeah, to get at least one.
right,
Yeah,
right, and the fact that he just I don't know if he'll give it away again for a minute because he doesn't. Indiana doesn't play a single ranked opponent in their schedule later this year. They play Michigan
right,
State, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue. I really see them winning out. And their toughest
right,
challenge is going to be in that Big Ten championship, I think.
right. Yeah, I do too. I mean, that's going to be such a classic.
Mhm.
Like 12-0 Indiana, 12-0 Ohio State. I really don't want to jinx it, but like I'm really hoping that that happens. And when you look at both teams' remaining schedule, it's very possible. And the Big Ten is really deep, but I feel like that's kind of what we've separated now that all the teams have kind of played each other and like they've accumulated Big Ten losses where it's like Indiana and Ohio State, like kind of sucks because Ohio State hasn't really played any of those like top teams, but they don't have to because you look at it and like they're already firmly in the top two. And if they don't lose again, they're going to have no problem. Like Ohio State's really good, and obviously they're spectacular. They're the number one team in the country for a reason. They're the defending champs. All that they're so complete. So that's really going to be tricky for Indiana. But honestly, there's some buzz with Indiana. It's crazy. it's like, how do you not have any 5 stars? How have you lost the most games in D1 history? And how are you able to win games like this? It's a tribute to Curt Cignetti and all those players and just the way that he develops. I saw a quote from him recently. He doesn't look at the stars when he recruits players. He looks and he judges their talent himself. And he's like, if guys can play, they can play. I don't care what stars they're rated. And he says it's all about development. I'm like, that's awesome. It's like, how do you go into Oregon with all those 5 stars and all the money to that program and everything about that? I mean, Oregon spends so much money on their uniforms alone, which their uniforms were spectacular, but it's like, how do you go in there and have this type of performance? I think it's just they knew all that noise. They knew that they would be counted out. They knew all of that. And they knew everything that Oregon had done. They knew they didn't have any 5 stars. They don't care. And I think that just gave them so much motivation, especially on the road. And they're like, no one believes in you. No one's giving you a chance. And I think it's just like we say it with Dan Lanning, where they're kind of a team that gets motivated, which is I think I kind of agree. If this game is played in Bloomington, maybe the Hoosiers end up losing to the Ducks, but it's like they came in hungry and they really punched Oregon in the mouth. Indiana was the more hungry team. They wanted it more. Indiana is really good, Jack. I can't believe it. It's so awesome that Indiana has finally had a truly elite season up to this point.
Absolutely are, and I hope that they just continue to just take the momentum and keep going with this. They've just looked so impressive. I
Right,
mean, last year they looked impressive too, as one of the best teams in the
right,
country, and they only had 2 losses. But their schedule was easier, and they did lose Ohio State and then went to the CFP. But
mhm,
this team just looks so much better than they did last year, and I really think they could really go deep
right,
and maybe even beat Ohio State. If
right,
there's one team to beat them, I think they're definitely up there with along with like Miami, Texas Tech, and Texas A&M. They just look so
right,
hungry, and that coaching job that Cignetti has done there. And it was interesting because I didn't
right.
know he was on Alabama staff in 2010. That definitely makes
Mhm.
sense up to this point, and just shows like how far Saban's coaching tree really goes. It's just insane. Like
Right,
as soon as you see another team pop up that's just so good, it's like, oh, he was under Saban. Of course he was. So very impressive.
right,
Yeah, the way that he just
right,
leads these guys to coaching jobs and just how
right.
good they end up doing is just so impressive. We'll never see this again.
Right, no doubt. Because it's like, oh, there's this team Georgia that's really taken over. Oh, of course, the coach was under Saban.
Right.
Or it's like across the border, it's like, oh, the team that just won the Big Ten. Yeah, he was under Saban. It's like, and then Ole Miss's coach really great under Saban, where it's like there's so many. It's like, oh, Miami's undefeated. Miami's doing pretty good. They've had some good wins. They're number 3 in the country. He coached under Saban, didn't he? Yep. It's like it really is the Nick Saban effect because he's such a great coach, and I think a lot of those guys knew to go there because they knew that that was where they were going to get the most experience and the best training. And you can definitely see how Saban was able to build up these guys because you see Georgia over the past few years, how they win games, it's very Alabama esque. The way Indiana has attacked these games, the way they blew out Illinois, like that's an Alabama type performance. Like Indiana's really great, and you can definitely see that ripple effect from Nick Saban principles. And not taken away from Curt Cignetti because he is so incredible in his own right. But it's like to take a team like Indiana, a team that won 2 games, they won 2 games, to turn them around in 1 year to have an 11-win season. And I don't care that they had 2 losses. They had an 11-win season from a 2 loss. And the both teams that they lost to were in the national championship. They were the number 1 and 2. Those were their 2 losses. And the fact that they're so much better this year is what's so impressive. And Indiana has a really great chance to win their first ever Big Ten title since 1967. Insanity. Indiana's really good. And I hope they do it. We'll have to see when we get to December. But Indiana could have their first Big Ten title in 50 or some odd years.